YouTubers, vloggers, people who are TikTok famous, Instagram famous, content creators, audio visual designers, all those, they work in a digital creative skill or career path. And that is the topic of today's debate. With the motion, as a middle class parent, this house would support their child's choice to deprioritize formal education in favor of pursuing digital creative skills or career. Now, before I move to my arguments, I would like to rebuttal what the first speaker of the government team said. That being said, I am the first speaker of the opposition team. So, hierarchy of careers. Let me make it clear that all careers have a role in society, whether you're an audiovisual designer, a content creator. However, the hierarchy of careers that mentions social stratification as well as could be based on the importance or the urgency of the career itself, such as doctors, lawyers, policemen. They provide direct aid towards the society. And not saying that these creative skills field jobs are less important. No, they still have a platform where they can mention their voice and make other people aware of like the current situation, socialize something that's currently important. But however, back to the urgencies, there are a few jobs that are more urgent than others. Now, we are talking about the first speaker of the government team mentioned that the opportunities of work come from creativity. Of course, it comes from creativity, but creativity is only one aspect from many others that is mentioned. So, when you want to work, creativity is not the only thing that we need, right? To be eligible for certain jobs, it requires more personal qualities, educational credits, professional certifications, areas of knowledge, and other qualifications. Whereas, let me specify, these areas of knowledge are usually obtained in formal education. So, the first speaker of the government team also mentioned that they want to enhance the purpose of parenting and allow the child to seek the meaning of life. Now, of course, as a parent, we have to provide the right guidance. But why do we not agree that that encouraging our child to deprioritize their formal education is the purpose of parenting and allowing the children to seek the meaning of life? So, provide the right guidance. As a parent, it's crucial to guide your kid, of course. Studies have shown that teens are wired to seek greater rewards, new and stimulating experiences with more sensitive emotional system. But teenagers have a decision-making center that is still growing, and teens sometimes make decisions that may put their well-being at risk, or their future even. Now, this is especially true in emotionally charged situations. However, this does not mean that parents should prevent their kids from making their own decisions, but instead, developmentally, parents should let their child make age-appropriate decisions as they demonstrate capacity, judgment, and maturity. In this case, choosing to deprioritize formal education seems like not an age-appropriate decision for a teenager. Of course, everyone knows that the outcome of work in both fields are unpredictable and it depends on one's destiny. However, studies have shown that people who have higher levels of education tend to earn about 25% more than those without high education. People with professional degrees usually have deeper knowledge about their field, plus the experience garnered during their studies. Whether it depends on the performance of the person, extra education will not do any harm. Aside from that, if we're talking about mental health, which is like the pressure of exams and tasks given would pressure one student and make them stressed. Well, let me get this straight. If you it might happen towards all students, and everyone has their own limits, but however, if you don't overcome it later on, life has their own obstacles. Every person will experience their own obstacles, and you have to learn to get over it. If, for example, the education is burdening you too much, there are various types of education. There are various fields. You don't have to go to an Ivy League school to get this formal education. as so your mentality won't be harmed. So if government cannot argue that formal education schools would only harm your mental state. No. Okay, now moving on to my arguments. The first argument is formal education will support you in the long run. Why we shouldn't deprioritize formal education? The purpose of formal education in society is actually to impart knowledge, right? Knowledge is something one can achieve by other means, for example, technology and libraries, but formal education provides you with degrees and certificates that will help you verify your achievements. Currently in Indonesia, most decent jobs in companies, you have to minimally have a bachelor's degree. If, for example, we do not apply this motion, it will not harm the child whatsoever, because it wouldn't mean also that we are not good parents, because we want what's best for our children. If we communicate it nicely, it would also be a win-win solution. Here, of course, we want the best for our children, right? The emphasis of this motion, however, is deprioritizing formal education, which actually leads to neglecting formal education, choosing not to continue education, or even dropping out of school. Being a content creator or other jobs in creative fields can also be pursued while pursuing formal education. For example, following extra courses for creative skills, watching YouTube videos, and so on and so forth. Education is a powerful agent of change, and it improves health and livelihoods, contributes to social stability, and drives long-term economic growth. Also essential to the success of one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And the success rate of a country is also still rated by their education rates. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us imagine if we allow our kids to drop their formal education just to go in the world of creativity, being a content creator, and so on and so forth. Of course, it's not a bad thing, but if it backfires, our children's other options would be limited as they don't have a degree or even a high school diploma. As we know, working in the creative field isn't as easy. It usually takes up a long time to gain a loyal readership and a steady traffic. It requires upkeep and moderation, requires frequent content updates, helps to have some marketing outreach and social communication, and a custom design theme will cost money, but helps set you apart. Now, before our children pursue their career in the creative field, if they pursue a formal education first, and if the career doesn't go as expected, the children could still apply a job using their degree or diploma, or working formally and also being a content creator, because currently there are lots of content creators that still work formally too. Now, second argument is that people who pursue formal education have better ethics. Ethics is what guides us to tell the truth, keep our promises, or help someone in need. There is a framework of ethics underlying our lives on a daily basis. It helps categorize discipline, honesty, and integrity in our actions performed during the day. At school, you have a certain system to follow, certain written and unwritten rules to follow, same as in society. For example, in society, when you're a content creator, of course you cannot bring other people down, right? And that is why, by supporting formal education for students, it will help their future be brighter. That is all from me. My name is Mararif. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.